مايك is yours أخي الحبيب.
طيب السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Is there a voice? طيب okay. My question is for Kaban concerning Thomas when he was surprised and said, "Oh my God, oh my Lord." The writer of this story between Jesus and Thomas, he said in verse John 20:31, "But these are written that you might believe." What believe? To believe in Jesus is God? No. That you might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. The Christ is not God, the Son of God is not God, and that believing you might have life through His name. So who knows better, Kaban, concerning what was the conversation between Thomas and Jesus? Now, the writer of this story, he didn't believe that Jesus is God. So why you believe using this verse that Jesus is God? Mkvine.
Okay, frankly, that was just an absurd argument. And you said that because John says Jesus is the Messiah, Jesus is the Son of God, that somehow means that John doesn't believe Jesus was God. Are you serious? Jesus was the Messiah. Jesus was the Son of God. He was also God. These are all titles fully applicable to Jesus, and John rightly applied the titles Messiah and Son of God to Jesus Christ. So what else does John say? Well, John says in John chapter 1, verse 1, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And later he says the Word was made flesh into the person of Jesus Christ. So of course John believes that Jesus was God. He says it explicitly, the Word was God. He also believes that Jesus was the Messiah. He also believes that Jesus was the Son of God, that is, the Son of the Father. He makes all of these three things clear in his gospel. He is simply presenting a fallacy of a false dichotomy by claiming that somehow, because John says Jesus is the Son of God, that means that Jesus didn't fully possess the attributes of deity. That's just an awful argument. It's a terrible fallacy, and it holds absolutely no water.
Okay, that argument holds a lot of water, and he basically didn't respond. You brought up a good point. When the author of John ends his gospel, what does he say? He says that you may believe that Jesus is God, or does he say you may believe that Jesus is the Son of God, not a divine title? There you go again. And by the way, in the book Confessions of a Trinitarian, or Concessions of a Trinitarian, by Michaelis, a Trinitarian himself concedes that when doubting Thomas said, "My Lord and my God," even a Trinitarian scholar admitted that this didn't refer to his divinity, and there are other Trinitarian scholars who conclude with that. With that, I'm off the mic.
Okay, it's my question. Well, first of all, I want to praise both you, both the Christian and the Muslim debater, for a very good debate, and both handled each other exceptionally well. So my question is for Sami. You said that Moses was called Elohim, a God, and that even Satan is referred to as a theos in the New Testament. I'm just wondering, can you point out anywhere in the Bible where Moses was called my Lord and my God? Or that Satan was called both my Lord and my God? Or your Lord and your God, as it would imply? And that's my question.
Okay, I'm not sure of any reference that calls Moses my Lord and my God, or with Satan. But as I said, we look at all the eyewitnesses throughout the four Gospels. None of them ever believe Jesus is God. They're always calling him the Messiah, the Son of Man, the Son of God, all titles which do not denote divinity. Therefore, when he is given those titles, we have to interpret the text with the context. And him being the Messiah, a very high figure, by the way, and a prophet, therefore, when he is called Theos and Kurios, it has to match the context. And again, a Trinitarian scholar, Michaelis, in Concessions of a Trinitarian, even agrees with me. Many people make the same argument that I'm telling you right now. Let the context determine this passage, not let your Trinitarian of the single passage determine the entire context. Now this verse is completely different to what I'm asking for. I am asking for something explicit explicit. There's no debate about it, where Jesus says, I am the God. I am Yahweh. Nothing to debate about. It's explicit. It's right there. Let's go on. That's what I'm asking for. And what's my time? 1 second, or am I done? 25 minutes, 0 seconds. I have 1 minute, so that would be the response. And again, let the context determine it. And just bring me the verse where Jesus says, I am God. Clear. And don't forget, radical moderate. How did that same book, the one you just quoted, how did it end? As the last Muslim speaker said, so that you may believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Not that so you may believe that Jesus is the God, He's Yahweh. So it can't get any clearer than that. And again, there's no reason for Thomas to believe that Jesus was the God in that moment. He was doubting whether Jesus rose from the dead. And I'm off the mic.
Okay, so Sami has said, well, there's no place where Satan or where Moses is called Lord and God, but there is a place where Jesus is called Lord and God. The question is there a place where Yahweh is called Lord and God? The answer is yes. Psalm 35:23. Awake and rouse yourself for my vindication, for my cause, my God and my Lord. So there is a place where Yahweh is called my God and my Lord. There is a place where Jesus is called my God and my Lord. There is no place where Satan or Moses is called my God and my Lord. So as we can see, this is a clear claim to deity. And yes, while John closes his gospel saying Jesus is the Son of God, the Messiah, he opens his gospel by saying Jesus is God. The Word was God. So he opens by saying he was God, closes by saying he was the Son of God and Messiah. John believes all of these things.
Hello, assalamu alaikum to Muslims and hello to non-Muslims. Muslims night, are you ready, bro? Muslims night. Muslims night, you hear me? Go, bro. Mic is yours.
طيب يا مسلمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I would like to have a simple question for Christian debater in generally. It's very simple, I think. I was reading the Bible, sir, and I just passed by Act 2:22. Men of Israel, listen to this. People of the room, listen to this as well. Jesus of Nazareth was a man accredited by God to you by miracles, wonders, and signs, which God did among you through him, as you yourselves know. The question is, what should I do with such verse, sir? It's not talking about God. Obviously, it's not talking about God. It's talking simply about Jesus of Nazareth, who was accredited by the God to do some miracles, exactly like the other prophets, the several prophets in the Bible. If you don't like this verse, maybe we can delete it if you don't like. Anyway, Sami, brother, you done very well. Mic free.
That was another of these ridiculous questions from the Muslim apologists. Yes, Jesus was a man, and yes, Jesus was accredited by God the Father, because we believe that God the Father and God the Son were separate persons. Jesus was a man, remember, he's the God-man, and so the God the Father accredits God the Son, Jesus Christ, the God-man. There is no contradiction here at all, especially when you take this with the whole of the New Testament, which speaks clearly of Jesus' deity. I have just proven this through a comparison of Psalm 35 and John 20. Thomas says, my God, my Lord and my God to Jesus. The psalmist says, my God and my Lord to Yahweh. It is a clear parallel here between the Old and New Testament, showing that Jesus Christ is Yahweh incarnate. It's clear, the New Testament is very clear about this, and since you're using sources outside the biblical Gospels, we can just go to Philippians chapter 2, which calls Jesus in the very nature of God. So the New Testament is clear. Jesus Christ is God in the flesh. Thank you. Excuse me. My Paltalk, if you can hear me, my Paltalk is presently being a little weird. Okay. Okay, it can... Shoot, excuse me.